Hello and welcome to Pock and Rob. This weekend I finally got to see Iron Maiden live for the very first time. I went to the Utilita Arena in Birmingham. I'd got a resale ticket which I picked up at the last minute in the morning at 7 a.m. Thanks to whoever sold that. If you happen to be watching this, I got to get in for the 56 quid price, which is phenomenal. Every single one of the tracks played was from their first 9 albums, and I did a video a while ago with my top 30 tracks of the albums up to 1992. This is part 2 of that video. It is my top 30 tracks from the post-1992 era. So let's dive in and rank my top 30 tracks. And at number 30, I have placed probably one of the least known songs that's on this list. It's Judgment Day. This was a B-side from the X Factor era, the Blaze Bayley era, and really should have been on the X Factor album because it would have injected some urgency that the album is sadly lacking. Judgment Day at number 30. At number 29, from A Matter of Life and Death, I've placed the second single and the successful single, Different World. They did have another single, which was the reincarnation of Benjamin Brieg, but due to chart rules of length at the time, it was not eligible. So the second single is the one that actually charted. It hit the top 10, and I think I'm right in saying it's the last top 10 single that Maiden had because, of course, the charts have totally transformed and changed. Different World, number 29. Number 28, sticking with A Matter of Life and Death, their kind of concept album about war and death, although war and death appear a lot in Iron Maiden songs. It's The Longest Day. I think this is about the Battle of the Somme. The previous album had contained a track called Passchendaele, which is about the Battle of Passchendaele, but this is just about the horror of the longest day in the Somme. Number 27. The other track that is incredibly unknown from the X Factor era, and it's Justice of the Peace. Again, this is a B-side. Both should have been on X Factor, and I think X Factor would have been a better album with them because they are both peppy, powerful, punchy songs that were sadly lacking on X Factor as an album. Justice of the Peace at 27. At 26, the lead single from The Final Frontier. I've watched quite a lot of Iron Maiden ranking videos over the last few months, and this album, The Final Frontier, does not get a lot of love. El Dorado was the lead-off single, and it's a good song, but it's probably the least Maiden-ish song that they've ever released as a single. My number 26. At 25, the lead-off single of the Dance of Death album. It's Wildest Dreams. If Wildest Dreams has a fault, it's that Different World is far too similar to it, and they're almost interchangeable in my head. But given the fact that it's the one that came first, I prefer Wildest Dreams. It's a really good song. At number 24, my first pick from the Brave New World reunion album. This is where Bruce and Adrian came back, and it's Dream of Mirrors. I only dream in black and white. I really, really enjoy this song when it's on. Number 23, from The Final Frontier, is Mother of Mercy. We are heading firmly into almost every song's an epic territory now. But Mother of Mercy, really strong track. And number 22, from Dance of Death, No More Lies. This was, I think, released as a fan club only single. But No More Lies, it's got a very, very simple chorus, and I've seen it criticised as a result, but that chorus works for the material of the song itself. No More Lies at 22. And number 21, sticking with Dance of Death, for the aforementioned Passchendaele. When Adrian Smith rejoined the band, one of the things he brought back with him was a melodicism and a willingness to push the songs into different territories that had been sadly lacking since his departure. So he left after the end of Seventh Son of a Seventh Son, and his absence is keenly felt on No Prayer for the Dying. And in all honesty, for the next 3 albums as well. But he was always kind of joked in the band that he tended to write the fast, punchy songs. So he wrote Passchendaele instead, which is the album's longest song and the most epic of epics, all about the Battle of Passchendaele. it would have sat really well on Matter of Life and Death, but it predates it. I really, really like the Dance of Death album, as you'll see as we go through. Passchendaele, number 21. Number 20, These Colours Don't Run, from Matter of Life and Death. This is one of the strongest songs on the whole album. And actually, whilst I enjoy A Matter of Life and Death when I listen to it, it's probably a bit too long. It could probably do with shortening. And in fact, that criticism could be levelled at any Iron Maiden album after No Prayer for the Dying. They're all a bit overly long. But These Colours Don't Run. It's a good, strong Steve Harris-led track. And speaking of long songs, that brings us to number 19. From the Book of Souls, their longest album, and what is now their longest song, The Empire of the Clouds. This is a Bruce Dickinson song. It closes the record. It takes up an entire side of vinyl because it is 18 minutes long. I believe it was the last thing recorded for the Book of Souls album. And shortly after recording the last notes of this song is when Bruce went to the doctor and discovered that he had got cancer of the throat, which he survived. He's still with us. Anyway, Empire of the Clouds, like I say, 80 minutes long, about the Airship 101. It's my number 19. At number 18, From Brave New World, is the title track. This kind of, as a title track, I think it sums up how they now felt as a band. So having gone through that 90s clag fest, which it really kind of was, they then had reconvened, they had spoken to each other, they had forgiven one another for things they had said and all that stuff, and they were surging into a brave new world, which is still going now. It's only recently that there's been a lineup change, which has been the retirement of Nico McBrain. Fully understandable, given his health issues, but as a band they are still tight and in that brave new world. Number 17, I've placed the final track from Senjutsu. It's my first pick from that album. It's Hell on Earth. This is a 10-minute plus song on an album that's got probably too many 10 plus minute songs, but Hell on Earth is one of the better ones. It's a downbeat end to the album, and it is now in what is the typical Steve Harris soul-right style of E, C and D, or rather E minor, C and D. That's cycled so much, but I think it's one of his better ones. Hell on Earth at number 17. At number 16, a song that a lot of people would not put on their Iron Maiden ranking list, The Final Frontier. And it is just The Final Frontier, because I do get why people don't like Satellite 15. It doesn't feel like a Maiden song. It doesn't feel like it needs to be there, and just makes the album longer. But the Final Frontier title track is mint. I think it's an absolutely cracking song. I've placed it at number 16. So, this is the point, halfway through, where I am going to remind you to subscribe if you've not already done so. To click the thumbs up to like the video, it really helps with YouTube algorithms. And to click the bell to receive notifications of future content. I've got loads of stuff planned, loads of stuff already in the can. And then share the video with someone else who might like it. Perhaps another Maidenhead. Maybe you were at that Birmingham concert as well. And let's go to the top 15. At number 15, the title track of Dance of Death. It's one of Yannick Guerre's favourite songs to play. He jigs around the stage and has a great time when he's playing it. For me, it almost feels like it's a little bit of a sequel to Number of the Beast. Or is that just me? I don't know. Dance of Death at number 15. At number 14, Adrian and Bruce's Darkest Hour from the Senjutsu album. It's a really powerful song about World War II. And I think it's about the D-Day landings, if I'm right. Yeah, it's downbeat, but it's a really good. Adrian and Bruce, their co-writes, they're really strong usually. And Darkest Hour, number 14. Number 13, from Dance of Death, New Frontier. We've already mentioned Nico and his retirement. this is his sole composership credit on an Iron Maiden album. He's got a composership credit on a couple of the B-sides from the earlier era, including Mission from Ari. But New Frontier is the only time he co-wrote a song, and it was his concerns about cloning and what was going on. So those of you who don't know, Nico McBrain became a born-again Christian in 1999. He nearly quit Iron Maiden as a result, but he felt that he should continue. And his Christian faith informs his concerns that led to the song New Frontiers. And it contains the line, "Is it worth the risk of war of God and man?" It's an absolutely fantastic song, and it was co-written with, again, Smith and Dickinson. They helped Nico bring his only composership credit on an album to life. At number 12, I have placed from Senjutsu, Days of Future Past. This is just a great, fun song about time travel. They've done so many songs about time travel over their career, and this is a bit of a highlight on the Senjutsu album for me. I liked it the moment I heard it. Days of Future Past at number 12. And at number 11, back in 1986, Bruce Dickinson wanted to take the band in a very different direction and do something acoustic. His ideas were thrown out. We ended up with Somewhere in Time, which is a great album. But it took until The Dance of Death before Iron Maiden did an acoustic song, and it's Journeyman. Last track on The Dance of Death. And it does make you wonder, what could the 80s era have included if they'd have actually taken Bruce's desire seriously? Because Journeyman's terrific. Who knows what we could have had in the 80s? Journeyman at number 11. At number 10, from the Book of Souls, The Red and the Black. This is a late era Harris classic. Yes, it's ECD again, but Red and the Black has got something else in it. The drive that goes into the chorus, it really, really works very well. Red and the Black from Book of Souls at number 10. At number 9, it's another Steve Harris long song from The Final Frontier, When the Wild Wind Blows. So this is based on the Raymond Briggs story. I'll go so far as to say that I think it is the best closing track from an Iron Maiden album in the reunion era. When the Wild Wind Blows is absolutely great. And number 8, I know I've said that the Blaze Bayley era isn't a complete washout. I've included a couple of B-sides, but this is the only album track that I'm going to have from that era. I know there's a lot of admiration for the Klansman. It's Future Real. Future Real is brilliant. It is sub 3 minutes. It is everything that the Blaze Bayley era wasn't. It is fast, it's punchy, it's fun, it's riff-tastic, it's a failed single. This was released as the second single from Virtual 11 and did not chart, for which I blame the first single, which was The Angel and the Gambler, which is often cited as one of their worst, if not the worst song they ever put out. But Future Real suffered as a result. It opens Virtual 11. It should have been the lead single. I love Future Real. I wish they would bring this back out live again. They did. There is Bruce Dickinson singing it on the reunion era, and he smashes it. It's a terrific song, Future Real. It's the best thing from Maiden in the 90s for me. Easily. At number 7, I have placed Stratego from Senjutsu. This is a co-write between Steve Harris and Yannick Gers, and it's fast, it's driven, it's punchy, and it's everything that I really love from my favourite Iron Maiden tracks on their 17th album. Stratego at number 7, and sticking with fast, punchy, quality tracks, the lead single from the Book of Souls, Speed of Light's at my number 6. This may be coloured by how brilliant the video is for Speed of Light. So in Speed of Light, we have Eddie in an arcade. He is sucked into the game, and there is then kind of like a history of video games. We start off with Donkey Kong. He's there where he's trying to get the hearts to get his life back, and he's being rebuilt as it's a terrific video. One of the best videos I've seen in years. He then moves into things like Street Fighter. A Wolfenstein 3D appears at one point, and at the end he needs the 4 hearts to complete it, and so he rips his own one out. How Eddie is that? And we're sticking with singles at number 5 for the lead single from Senjutsu, Writing on the Wall. This had been very cleverly media campaign beforehand. There was a change in Iron Maiden's site, and they were tweeting something about Belshazzar's feast, and it led to Writing on the Wall being released. Honestly, go and look up their media campaign for this, because it was genius. Very different from Maiden. Again, I believe this is a Smith Dickinson co-write. There's life in the old dogs yet. Writing on the Wall, number 5. Number 4, another single from Dance of Death, Rainmaker. Now, up until Stratego, I think Rainmaker was their last true fast driving single. The riff notes that open the song, this is where the song got its name from, because it's a Dave Murray composition predominantly, and somebody said when they heard that riff they said it sounded like raindrops, and this led to the idea of the track being called Rainmaker. It's probably my favourite Dave Murray co-credit, because I think Rainmaker is absolutely fantastic. I think it reached number 13 in the charts, so it was a proper hit. Great song at number 4. And number 3, the final of the singles that's going to be on this list here, it's the comeback single from Brave New World, Wicker Man. And this told the world that Bruce was back. It's a co-write between Smith, Harris and Dickinson. It's almost like the Wicker Man picks up where Seventh Son of a Seventh Son album left off. Like the 90s had never happened. It is a brilliant single. It was a top tenner, and it showed that they were back for good. Wicker Man, number 3. Number 2, from Dance of Death, one of the songs that is cited by fans as being, I wish they'd play this, and often cited as being their heaviest. It's Montsegur, about the slaughter of the Cathars in southern France. Blood on the Walls of the Citadel. This is a Bruce Dickinson song, and it's one of the reasons why I placed Dance of Death as being their best reunion album. That's not what I originally ranked it as. If you go back and watch my Iron Maiden album ranking, I think I placed Dance of Death a bit low down. I've listened to so much Maiden in the last few years since I did that ranking that I'm going to have to redo the ranking, because Dance of Death has shot up, because I think it's a great album. And Montsegur is one of the reasons, and it's just buried. Track 4 on the record, I think, and such a good song. Which leaves at number 1 another Bruce Dickinson soul composition, Eternity Should Fail, from the Book of Souls. It opens the album. Bruce reworked it for the Mandrake project, as Eternity Has Failed, because he intended the song to be a solo release, and Steve Harris persuaded him to Maidenify it, and I'm so glad he did, because it is top drawer stuff. The first 2 tracks of Book of Souls are If Eternity Should Fail and then Speed of Light. So that concludes my rundown of my top 30 post-1992 Iron Maiden songs. You will notice there is very little from the Blaze Bayley era. That is not to say that I detest the albums, not completely. It's just that the material isn't as good as it is on the post-2000 stuff. I'll be back soon with another video. Before I go, I'd remind you to subscribe, like, hit the bell, share the video, and thanks for watching.